In a world that's always evolving, where challenges come at the speed of change, resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation for growth and success. Welcome to Real Resilient Conversations.
Every second and fourth Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we bring you transformative discussions designed to build strength through dialogue. Whether you're a leader aiming to inspire, a team striving to collaborate, or an individual professional seeking growth, Real Resilient Conversations is your guide to thriving in today's dynamic environment.
Our mission is clear: foster emotional resilience, cultivate transparent communication, and empower businesses to adapt with confidence. Through our resilient leadership coaching, we don't just talk about resilience, we live it, lead it, and help you achieve it. When resilience becomes part of your culture, every challenge is an opportunity, every setback a lesson, and every team member a leader in their own right.
Real Resilient Conversations isn't just a show, it's a movement, a mindset, and a community dedicated to helping you and your organization thrive. Tune in every second and fourth Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and see the difference resilience makes. Be part of the movement and join the conversation live. Watch us on Twitch, Real Resilient Convos. Follow us on Facebook, Real Resilient Conversations with Quita. Get inspired on Instagram at Real Resilient Conversations. Catch our videos on YouTube at Real Resilient Conversations. Wherever you are, Resilient Conversations is just a click away.
Real Resilient Conversations, leading by example, building strength one dialogue at a time, because resilience isn't just what we do, it's who we are.
All right. Hey, y'all, it's Monday. Come on in. I seen the countdown. I was waiting to make sure y'all are still coming. Welcome. Come on in. Oh, come on in. Happy, October 27th. It is National Radio Day. So shout out to WSAN Radio, our very own radio station here in San Antonio, Texas. DJ Ron G. Thank you so much for joining. Y'all come on in. I'm going to give y'all a couple minutes. Hey, Mom, I seen you join on in. Good to see you. I am giving people a couple more minutes just to come on in. While they're doing that, I'm your host, Miss Quita. We do this thing called a good, deep, real conversation every second and fourth Monday of the month. We do this thing because we use quirky topics, unique ways of discussing how to become a more resilient you. So welcome to your end of month fill up, part 2 of I Need. This has been an interesting opportunity for us to grow in the things that we need and how we need them, and how we can get the solutions to get to those things that we're in need of. And so today, whether you are watching it live, rebroadcast, first time, you're coming back as my R2Cs, my Real Resilient Conversation crew, welcome back. I am honored that you have taken the time and that you have decided to join me. This is simply a discussion. So I like to hear from you, my viewers. I like to hear what things you all are interested in, and give me some feedback on what you're hearing and what we're discussing. So I ask that you go ahead, kick off your shoes, get you some snacks, get your pen, get your paper, get yourself ready. This is going to be a lot of information in a short amount of time. So you know how I try to get y'all in 30 minutes or less. So let's go ahead and get your Monday motivation ready. I hope that you all are ready for today. I gave you a little different something today. I hope y'all enjoying the different looks. I'm your host, Miss Quita, and this is what I do. So, on 2 weeks ago, on the 13th, we talked about part 1 of I Need, and we talked about what the I needs could be in different topics. And so our focus, right, is whenever you're talking about the I need, what part of you are you discussing? And what part of you needs to really be attended to? So, like I said, it's National Radio Day. Look, y'all see, I'm doing something different. I got, is it this way? There it is. Boom. Boom. There it is. Oh my goodness. I'm going to try something new just to keep my viewers, those of you that have to see things, right? Some of us are good at hearing and others are good at seeing. So I want to be able to contribute to those who need to have some visualization. Makes sense other than me. All right. So we are going to talk about, of course, the needs. This is part 2 of I need. We're going to talk about it in the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. Like we always do, we like to break them up into those 4 components to really understand how we're going to do that. Now, we're going to focus on the what we need and why we need it. All right. So the what and the why. Now, how, that's up to you. Right. And so what we're going to do is look at solutions. We're going to look at times of reflection, and we want to make them faith-based perspectives. Does that make sense today? All right. So if it is your first time joining, put it in the chat. Where are you watching from? What is the first thing that you thought of when you seen this? How did it make you feel to see? You were like, who is this girl? What is going on? So if you're joining for the first time, thank you so much for joining. If you are here again, you're like, girl, I'm ready. I'm excited. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. And let's go ahead and get started. Now, for those of you that are, you understand basically the concept of I need, right? Most of us should understand what the I need is and where that comes from, what that stems from. So when we're talking about the I needs, we really want to look at making sure that we can tap into those things that we are in need of and not be ashamed of them. And even when we don't know how to necessarily voice them, then we need to be able to understand it, at least for ourselves, before we are able to voice them. And so on today, I'm super excited. I'm trying to make sure that I have it on all aspects. I want to give everybody the opportunity to really showcase what we have here. I have different screens going on as usual. My team is working with me. I'm all over it. So we're going to first talk about the mental needs. When we're talking about mental needs, we're going to, like I said, talk about the 4 things. The focus points are our mental needs, physical, emotional, and our spiritual needs. And the goal really is to understand, understand what we need and why it's hard for us to say it. All right, so looking at our mental needs. First, we need to look at those digital boundaries. We need to understand how to limit our social media, because social media sometimes can be a good thing and oftentimes it's not. You see a lot of things that you wish that you had or that you don't have, and then you reflect on those things, and it can become a mental barrier that can cause more frustration and more buildup, and that can affect you mentally. And so we're looking at the news and how this culture is looking when you're talking about your news, when you're talking about constant notifications. It's going to drain your focus. And so there's oftentimes on my phone, at least, I don't know how it is on your phone, there's an option for me to change to the focus, and my focus will not let anyone call unless they're on my favorites list. I won't get notifications of anything for that time frame that I have it listed until I change it. So these are just things to look at when you're talking about your digital boundaries, right? To help with your mental. Now, decluttering your thoughts. This is a little bit of a hard one. I am bad about this too. So even while we've been talking about journaling or meditation or quiet time, you have to process what's weighing you down. Now, I had a long conversation with a friend earlier today. And we were talking about understanding what is weighing you down and what is frustrating you, and what that could look like. So in order for you to get ahead of decluttering, you have to first understand what's at the root of it. What is causing your thoughts to be cluttered? You want to focus on what you can control. And there's a lot of things that we can't control. And that is just the battle of the beast, right? You have to find time to release the rest. So control what you can, release the rest. So I always say, take the meat, spit out the bones. Take what you need, and whatever you don't need, you release it into peace, right? You give it back and you say, it's not meant for me. And that's where I release it. You have to be able to know where to stop, if that makes sense. You have to look at ways of structure, creating the structure, creating a systematic approach to your life. Just like with children, if they know when they get up in the morning, they have to brush their teeth, wash their face, they have to change, change their routine, then that's when they become disorganized. That's when all of a sudden you see them starting to act out. You wonder what's going on with them. Well, it's because we had to bring about a change, and now mentally it's bothering them. And so we have to remember that consistent structure, even as children, up into our adulthood, is what we really should be focusing on. And learning to say no. Now, once again, you all know, that have been here for a while know it. This is something that I still struggle with. This is still something, I don't want to say struggle. This is something I am growing through. There we go. Not going through. I'm growing through. I am learning how to say no unapologetically. So if I don't have the energy to do it, I don't want to do it, the answer is more than likely going to be no. If I'm tired and I don't have the energy, the answer is going to be no. And it may come as a nice, I wish I could, honey, but I can't. Or I'm tired, I'm trying to rest. That's the nice way, because then the next step is going to be like, I told you I was tired, please leave me alone. Or you just going to get the hang up. But peace of mind begins where overthinking ends. So we have to figure out those things that's causing us to overthink and really break it up. Instead of trying to eat the whole elephant, let's break it up bit by bit and see what we can take care of. Now, when we're talking about the mental needs, we're going to need to talk about some solutions, right? So we want to talk about journaling, looking at once again, here at Resilient Conversations, we do have a journal planner that is available for you on our stand store. If you do not know, we'll make sure and put that in the comments later, but that is available for purchase. So making sure that you're able to journal and plan all in one. So journaling your thoughts helps to untangle some of that mental noise, some of the things that you're hearing in the background that you can't seem to release, the what ifs, the can'ts. I still need to handle this. I didn't plan on doing that. Did I forget to do this? Did I remember to do that? These are the things that we write down in our journals and in our planners. Okay. You want to limit the input. Now, this is a big one. You want to limit your input. You want to take digital breaks from social media, from friends, from family. Limit the input that comes in. When you limit those things, you set a priority, right, of your must do, I can, what can wait, and what I can release. You have to limit what's coming in, what's being pushed into you, and say, that's too much right now. This is what I need to do. This is what can wait, and this what can be released. You have to be able to regulate what you allow in. Does that make sense? All right, awesome. I see WSAN has joined us on Twitch. What's up, WSAN Radio? So good to see you. We made sure and gave you a shout out earlier today, so good to see you. All right. We want to make sure that we meditate or pray. That does help with our mental. So however you do it, I know that I have a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine, and he always tells me, have you done your breath work today? And breathing and doing your breath work does indeed help with that mental solution, helping to breathe through and release those things that need to be released. Or when you're inhaling positivity, inhaling affirmations, you're inhaling what the word says about you, and you're releasing everything that does not agree with what you just inhaled. Does that make sense? Right. All right. So last but not least, we want to seek professional support. Now, here at Resilient Conversations and with Dr. Sally Speaks, who is my business partner, we do have one-on-one counseling, therapy. I also have another business partner, or I guess I shouldn't say a business partner, another, extension that is willing to do couples counseling with me. So if you will prefer to have a male available with your counseling, we do have that available. Once again, that's available on the Sand Store. And so being able to seek out professional support, one-on-one, having those discussions, having someone from the outside being able to look in, or someone that you feel comfortable with, that you would rather put money into their business because you know them and you respect them and you're willing to hear what they have to say. You respect their point of view. This is a safe space for you to do that. So here at Resilient Conversations or outside, I know Dr. Sully Speaks is on all platforms, and he does one-on-one for males as well. So that is also an option if you just prefer it. I mean, there's BetterHelp, there's all kinds of things out there. And there's a lot of places that do things for free. It may only be 15 or 30 minutes. However, it is available for you. So make sure that your mental health is taken care of and get the help that you need. All right. All right. So what do you need to protect your peace of mind should be your main focus. All right. Physical needs. So physical needs is also, I mean, what is your body telling you when it's not getting what it needs? For me, today has been a challenging day. So for those of you, once again, that have been with me long enough, understand that I have fibromyalgia, and today has been a rough fibromyalgia day. Now, after dealing with it for 15, 16 years, I am good about putting on a face, putting on a mask to make it look like there is nothing wrong. However, at the end, I am ready to take off makeup, take off everything, and go and get back in the bed and take the medication and do what needs to be done. These are things that people are going through. Physical needs are not being met. And so you're getting fatigued because you're not getting enough rest and you're doing more caffeine, or you have tension headaches because you need to relieve some mental stress. You're overeating or skipping meals because you're emotionally imbalanced, and you have lack of structure. Now, what I do want to admit to you is this week has been one of those weeks where I have actually seen all of these things, and it was proof, right? Remember, those of you that have been with me for a while, once again, you have heard me say, the message comes to me first. I get the whooping first before I give it out to y'all. And so the opportunity for me to realize that I was neglecting my physical needs. I was fatigued. I had tension headaches, sinus headaches. I was not eating. I have body aches. And my emotional outbursts are usually because either I'm tired, I'm not eating, I haven't properly hydrated. All of these things play a factor. And so my physical needs have been neglected, and I can say probably within the last 2 weeks. And so I have felt all of these things listed. I don't know which one. There we go. Okay, there we go. All these things listed, I have figured out that my physical needs have not been met. Now, when we're looking at solutions to those could be resting. And I have tried to be more, and I shouldn't say try, I have made a conscious decision to prioritize sleep. So I've been doing breath work. I've been doing a sleeping pill. I've been doing short breaks throughout the day. Even if I don't sleep, just being able to rest and not have to have my mental or my physical being overworked. So making sure that you rest intentionally, that you hydrate. Dehydration is a silent stressor. Usually if you see me with some type of tumbler with me that has some type of drink in there, because I know that water is my best friend. So dehydration is a silent stressor because now your body is going through a tug of war, trying to make sure that your organs are functioning the way that they need to. When we don't properly hydrate, now we have a bigger problem, right? You have to eat for nourishment. Most of us either eat too much or don't eat enough. And what we are eating are not things that are giving us energy. We're doing things that are giving us quick fixes. So then we're eating chips or French fries, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, mashed potatoes, right? We're getting things that are quick in the drive-thrus, and it's not necessarily giving us the nutrition that we need. We are doing our body a disjustice by not feeding it what it needs. And especially if you're not feeding it at all, like this one right here. All right. Making sure that we're stretching, that we're moving, that we are looking into doing more things daily, dancing. So this is why I like to go and do my line dances. I like to go and stretch my legs, get out, because otherwise I will be in this house and I'll do just enough to get by to keep myself from not saying that I laid here all day. I'll do just enough. So we have to make sure that we're stretching. We have to schedule some self-care, massages, bubble baths, doctor's visits, unplug, downtime, whatever you need to do, paint parties, go out with your girls for a little bit, hang out with your bros for a little bit, have some downtime. That is important when you're talking about your physical health solutions. All right. All right. So emotional needs, I'm trying to go through because I told you I got a lot of emotional needs. What emotional needs have you ignored by trying to stay strong? This hit home for me because I realized that I have a lot of emotional needs that have not been met, not just now, but over the years. And so when I had the discussion with my friend earlier today, we had that discussion and he said, I feel like you are not open enough with people because you don't trust people to be open with them. And I said, absolutely not. I do not share a lot of who I am with people because I don't feel like they are truly invested in who I am. They are usually invested in the physical aspect of trying to be with me, but not the mental, emotional aspect. So then I'm quick to reserve that aspect of who I am, that layer of who I am for those who are deserving. And so far, I usually don't end up showing it. And so my emotional needs have not been met. And these are our rational internal needs on how we shape and connect love and feel safe. And a lot of times safety comes and looks differently to different people. So however safety looks for you is something that only you know. Especially if you have been in times where you have not felt safe, you have not felt supported, you have not felt loved because you felt like you were being used or manipulated, then I'm sure that you also have some emotional needs that are not being met. And so we're talking about, with those emotional needs, we're talking about rest, and you keep pushing yourself because you don't want to seem lazy. Y'all, when I tell you this is for me first, I push myself because I don't want to seem lazy. I don't want anyone to say, oh my God, you're laying in the bed again. Why are you in the bed again? So when I am in the bed, then they're like, either you're in the bed or you're out and about. Well, but then if I'm out and about, then you're out and about too much. It's a never ending cycle of people pleasing. There it is. If you need the rest, don't worry about who else thinks that you're lazy. Worry about if you think you're lazy. There it is. You need affection. And so I act tough so people don't think that I'm needy. This is absolutely me. Okay. I don't ask for anything because I said if people want to give it to you, they will give it freely. And it won't be anything that's going to, as far as affection goes, that's going to make me feel like I'm anything less than a lady. Enough said. Okay. So validation. This is a big one, right? I pretend it doesn't hurt when no one acknowledges my effort. When you give yourself so much to other people and for people, when you are always the one that is there when people cry, when they need a shoulder to lean on, when they are in need of a ear to listen, but you feel like you don't have that same ear to listen. I had the same conversation with someone this week and I understand it because I feel it. And so whenever I'm having these spiritual conversations or emotional conversations with people about the need to feel validated and heard, and the affection, not necessarily intimacy, but affection, meaning I just need a hug. Maybe I just need someone to look at me and stop and look and listen and pay attention to who I am. Understanding that I listen to everyone, but everyone does not listen to me. And so when I tell people that I have a resiliency consulting company, they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? And when I tell them, I said, I do speaking engagements. I'm available to come and speak for anyone that needs a speaker talking about resiliency, doing workshops for those that talk about resiliency. I have a podcast that talks about resiliency. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And then that's usually where it stops. And so feeling that no one understands me or listens to me when I tell them how passionate I am about what services I can offer to better them, the people around them, their companies, their establishments, and people just say, oh, okay. Do you really feel heard? And that is something that I have asked myself, right? Another one would be love and connection. So I tell myself I'm fine alone, but I crave closeness. And I realize that I have people that I am able to have close connections with. However, I also feel like they are there for their own selfish reasoning. So then the love and the connection is lost somewhere along the way. And so when we're talking about love and connection and having that connection, it in a world that everything is about the actual penetrative intimacy, it makes it hard for people to connect on a deeper level. And so I tell myself I'm better off alone than to be with someone who only wants me for that. And so having the love and craving that connection, that affection is simply being able to fulfill my emotional needs. Okay, looking at the support, I've been a helper for so long that I don't know how to ask for help. And because usually asking for help means that there's a vulnerability there. And because now you have to hope that the person that you trust to ask help for does not throw it back in your face later or does not use it for their own selfish reasonings later. They don't use it and point their finger and say, see, remember when I did this? And you're like, see, this is why I don't ask people. And usually that comes from a place of trauma. It comes, and I am one that have someone that has disappointed me, that has used me, manipulated me, and has got me to a place in order to provide a shelf of safety for myself. I put myself up higher, so now I'm not able to be reached emotionally. Forgiveness of yourself, and that's because you're carrying the guilt. I forgive others quickly, but I carry my own guilt. I feel guilty about how I look, how I dress, how people perceive me. I feel guilty because I feel like if I had done something right, then I wouldn't still be single and I wouldn't still be without a child. So then I have to forgive myself. So I don't know if you all remember, I was saying that I am going through a place of transformation. I am retraining my brain to learn a new identity for who I am. And this part of forgiveness of myself has been a challenging one. Definitely. And I think that's also why it's been such a draining one, because understanding that I have to forgive myself, because it's easy for me to forgive others, because then I forget, I let it go. But for me to forgive myself has been very challenging. And last but not least, when we're talking about those emotional needs, we want to talk about joy. And when I thought about joy, I said, I've been surviving for so long, I forgot to have fun. I can have fun in an area where I'm being paid to have fun. Does that make sense? So if I have to go and host, I know how to have fun hosting because that's fun, but it's because that is what I've been doing. But if you had the opportunity to come into my studio has pictures of paintings. I have all kind of paintings everywhere. I have a sewing machine. I have a magic butter machine. I like to do artsy, craftsy stuff. And I forgot that used to be fun for me. And somehow along the way, those emotional needs haven't been met. And so some of the solutions is really looking at acknowledging those feelings. Denying emotion usually can increase your stress level. So understanding that your stress could come because you're not being emotionally fed. And now you're emotionally deprived. It's almost like emotional starvation, all because you have emotions that have not been dealt with, if that makes sense. You don't know how to talk it out with someone because you don't feel safe enough to talk it out with people without them judging you or holding you accountable to their standards. Not necessarily even your standards, but maybe their standards of how they think you should be now that you have talked it out and expressed these emotions. And sometimes, y'all, let me tell you, some people don't even need you to come with a solution. They just need you to listen. It is the safest thing for you to do is to listen for them, right? You want to create a safe space, create a peaceful, safe space for people to talk it out, to come to you and be able to voice their emotions. And even if you do not agree with their emotions, you can appreciate the fact that they felt comfortable enough to do it. Now, this is a catch-22 because they're going to say, they are definitely going to say, hear me. I thought I was safe enough to tell you how I felt about you, yet you didn't respond the same way in return. We have to be cognizant that just because you feel a certain way doesn't mean that the next person is going to feel the same way. And that is okay. But we have to be mindful that is still a safe space. You just didn't get the return or the outcome that you were hoping for once you were able to express yourself in that safe space. Releasing guilt and shame. There is a wonderful, wonderful author. If you all don't know her, her name is Brené Brown. She talks about shame and guilt all day, every day. Please, please, please find you a book and go out and read you some Brené Brown books on shame and guilt. It has truly helped me understand that there are a lot of things in my childhood, even in my young adulthood, that I was ashamed of and that I felt guilty of trying and doing. And then I felt like that's why I am at this place in my 40s. Yes and no. Yes, every decision that we make has a outcome. However, releasing the guilt and shame because of those decisions that you made then are simply now they become opportunities for growth. Make sure that you are not holding on to the guilt and shame, and now it has become a ball and chain. It has now become a weight on you. Instead, it has become a area of opportunity. It has become a doorway for you to expose the enemy, expose what you used to be, who you used to be, and say, and yet look at where I still am today. All right. And practice gratitude. What does gratitude look like to somebody? When you're talking about gratitude, what does that look like? Because practicing gratitude looks different for somebody else. It's for focusing on the rights versus what's wrong. I went to a retreat, the Faith and Fire retreat, and that was something they said, do you know how much God loves to hear the gratitude, wants to hear how much you love and appreciate? I think if we took the time to practice gratitude, focusing on what's going right, on the things that we do have, being thankful for your vehicles or your cars or your houses, and being able to say, I am thankful that I have food on my table because there's someone else that is yet looking through someone else's garbage can for the very next meal that they will eat. Have gratitude. Right? Have lights on. I have working utilities. I don't have to worry about if I have to use a outhouse or go dig a hole to go to the restroom or whatever. I am grateful for the simple things. There's someone right now that is using a rolled up piece of magazine paper as toilet paper. I am grateful for the little things. You understand me? All right. All right. Let me hop off my soapbox. All right. Spiritual needs. So how does faith help meet your deepest needs? And what does it look like when we ignore our body needs, what our body needs? How does that neglect the way that God communicates with us when we neglect what our body needs, right? So, of course, we need to have a higher level of communication with God or higher power, being able to pray, worship, meditate, whatever it is that you believe in. Over here, we talk about prayer, we talk about God, but whatever it is that you believe in, having that deeper connection is the first thing that we need to focus on. Faith, hope, and purpose. You're talking about believing that things can improve. Purpose is knowing why you're here. A lot of us are struggling with understanding the why we're here and why we have the exchanges that we have gone through the challenges that we have, and what does that mean? So this is how, if you go back 3-4 years ago, this is how a Real Resilient Conversation was birthed. It was birthed because I understood that everything that I went through, everything that I've going through, everything that I've been through is not just for me. It is to help remind someone else, encourage someone else, empower someone else with the knowledge and skills and the tools to be able to overcome the challenges of day-to-day life. Because this thing called life is hard. We don't get a play-by-play book. And yes, the Bible is the basic information, right, that we can go to. However, whenever we're looking at life on a day-to-day, it doesn't tell you on day 375, this is what you're going to do. On day 7,337, this is what you're going to do. No, we don't have that option. So what is going to be our go-to? We're going to learn how to utilize the tools that we have in order to deal with our resiliency on a day-to-day basis. So we're looking at the forgiveness aspect, forgiveness, peace. You want to release resentment and guilt. You want to take the time to listen and reflect. Reflection is a big one for me. I do have a lot of friends that call me that just need a voice and a sounding board sometime. And I know that I am that person. However, I am growing myself into being able to do the same thing, reaching out to those that I can trust to do that with. And so learning to be still. And if I don't go anywhere, don't call anyone, I am so good with being by myself, which is a good thing and a bad thing, right? But understanding that the peace of me not having to worry about the negativity that can sometimes come with people if you give out too much information is where my spiritual needs are more important. And so then that peaceness and that quiet, that stillness is important for me. Having community and guidance. Now, whether that means having fellowship with like-minded believers, and discernment, being able to have those people that are able to guide and direct you. That's also what we're here for here at Resilient Conversation, as well with the organic coaching and consulting staff with Dr. Sully Speaks. These are things that are here. We are here for community, and we are here to be able to guide you, give you the support that you need while learning about while learning about gratitude and being able to have blessings even in the hardships. Now, how we do that is by utilizing the spiritual solutions. We're looking at recenter with prayer, worship, reflection, prayer, worship, reflection, prayer, worship, reflection. Being able to recenter that, reconnect with your source, the one that dwells within. Being able to do that and understand who we are makes a big difference in being what we need in the future generations, right? We want to make sure that we listen or read inspirational words, looking at scriptures, devotionals, affirmations, whatever it is that you need to reconnect. You want to serve others. Yes, serve others by making sure that we take the time out and be a blessing, not just receive a blessing, but to be a blessing. And we want to rest in the faith, surrender what is beyond our control. This is something hard for me to do. Quiet the noise and being able to sit in that peace. And no activity. It is being able to embrace the stillness, the quietness, to rest in faith, knowing that it has to be something greater on the other side. That if you are still allowed to be on this earth, that is because there is something yet to be growing within you, to be showing forth for the future you, the future generations, the future lives that you have the opportunity to touch. All right, y'all. I went over. I went over. Oh my goodness, I am well past time. But I hope that y'all enjoyed tonight's show. I pray. I wanted to make sure that I got everything out because this was the end of the I Need series. So I wanted to make sure I finished up with all of the notes for tonight's show. And I wanted to try something different. So being able to try something different, just well, thank you. All right, good to see Mr. Terry Carson. God bless us so that I can be a blessing to others. Amen. Amen. Being a blessing is what I enjoy doing. I realize that is my passion. That is where I think to blossom more. And so I am grateful that God has put that in me to be able to be a blessing, even when my needs have not necessarily been met. So then I have to take the time out and say, I need time to regenerate myself, whether that be mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Casey at Essentials are on over here on Instagram. Good to see you. All right. So I hope I've said something to help jumpstart your resiliency or brought you back to a resilient you, making sure that you're equipped with the tools needed in order to make it through this thing called life. This thing is not just for today, or it's for future generations, future experiences, and future generations that will come. If I have said something that you enjoy, make sure you like, share, subscribe, take the time out to tell someone else about it, tag them in it, share it, put it in your stories. Make sure that you let someone know that you are here and that you had the opportunity of growing and showing with us. All right. Make sure that you get the notification bell because I always hear, well, it didn't let me know you went live. I'm like, did you hit the notification bell? I always forget the notification bell thing. So you just have to go through and make sure you get the notifications. Now, my R2Cs, my Real Resilient Conversation crew, my family. Those of you that are new, come on back as well. We're going to be back here on the 10th of November. 10th November. All right, this one's a little long, y'all. Y'all ready? We're going to start part 1 of the 3T. 3T is thankful, thoughtful, and thriving. Thankful, thoughtful, thriving. So it's a sin to be good when God has called you to be great. I pray that until your safe return, please come back to the same place, the same face, in the same space. Love, peace, joy, and happiness, I pray to you. I see y'all soon on the 10th. We're doing thankful, thoughtful, and thriving. Bye.
In a world that's always evolving, where challenges come at the speed of change, resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation for growth and success. Welcome to Real Resilient Conversations.
Every second and fourth Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we bring you transformative discussions designed to build strength through dialogue. Whether you're a leader aiming to inspire, a team striving to collaborate, or an individual professional seeking growth, Real Resilient Conversations is your guide to thriving in today's dynamic environment.
Our mission is clear: foster emotional resilience, cultivate transparent communication, and empower businesses to adapt with confidence. Through our resilient leadership coaching, we don't just talk about resilience, we live it, lead it, and help you achieve it. When resilience becomes part of your culture, every challenge is an opportunity, every setback a lesson, and every team member a leader in their own right.
Real Resilient Conversations isn't just a show, it's a movement, a mindset, and a community dedicated to helping you and your organization thrive. Tune in every second and fourth Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time and see the difference resilience makes. Be part of the movement and join the conversation live. Watch us on Twitch, Real Resilient Convos. Follow us on Facebook, Real Resilient Conversations with Quita. Get inspired on Instagram at Real Resilient Conversations. Catch our videos on YouTube at Real